Hey everyone, I need your attention for 1 minute. This is not one of those ads. This is something that has changed my entire life. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that this is all about personal development as the foundation for everything good in your life. And this podcast is now sponsored by Growth Day, which is the world's first all-in-one personal development app. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having everything all in one place that you need to create the life that you want? Now you can. So if you've been struggling with your motivation, your mood, your productivity, or your purpose, you have to check this out. Growth Day helps you consciously change your life and achieve your potential. It has all the self-improvement tools, motivational classes, and life coaching all in one place. So many of us want to improve our lives, but the question is how? Where do we start? What do we use? How do you get unstuck? How do you make self-improvement stick? Well, research shows how. It's when you consistently journal, track your habits, set goals, learn from empowering mentors, and challenge yourself that you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. But let me ask you something. Where do you actually do all of your personal development work? I have to tell you that over 300,000 people use Growth Day for a reason. It works. It's the world's #1 software for self-improvement. Growth Day has an amazing mindset journal that I absolutely love, a habit tracker, and a goal-setting system. In fact, I bet if you went to my stories this week, you probably saw me using the journaling app and telling you to do it too, because it's the first time that journaling has ever actually stuck consistently in my life because of this app. And best of all, Growth Day has live inspirational classes every single week from the world's top motivational speakers and life coaches. These are people who have impacted my life in huge ways. These are mentors who I already knew and loved. In fact, this is something that's so huge for me, you guys. I personally teach a class in Growth Day every single month, and it is one of the most fun things that I get to do, and I'd love to see you there. These classes will truly shift your life. There's always something new that you will learn. So join me and 300,000 achievers growing our lives with actual real intention. Visit growthday.com/Lori for a free trial. Yes, you can try this for free. So go to growthday.com/Lori and go live your best life. You guys, that's growthday.com/Lori. And I can't wait to see you there.
Be aspirational and over-deliver on customer service. Do those two things no matter what's burning down in the background. And people will want to follow you and do business with you and learn from you or buy your product in droves. And we're back.
With another episode of He Said, She Said.
And we're also back at the lake house. Look at this view, babe. I wish they could see this right now.
I know. For me, water is everything. I just feel like a completely different person around water. So maybe for you guys listening, you know where your spot is. Like maybe you're like, I love the mountains. I love the desert. For me, I have grown up like 6 blocks from water my entire life. And I know when I'm around it, I feel it. I feel different. I literally feel different. And it's a true story. So when I'm here, I'm very happy.
I don't know if you remember this. When we lived on the lake in Minneapolis, I actually made you a promise that we'd always live on water or live like really close to a body of water. And I meant it at the time, but then somehow we ended up
I'm like, so what the
for
crap
that year
happened?
or two in Arizona. But I redeemed myself, right? We got the Newport place and this place.
Yes.
So most of your life is on water.
Now most of my life is around water.
But you are genuinely a happier person. Like there really is something physically to being where you're meant to be.
I don't know what you guys believe. I don't know what actually, I do think everything is energy. So I'm also a fire sign. Like a lot of I'm Sagittarius, pretty much everything. Whenever people are like, my risings, through and through Sag,
pure Sag,
through and through fire sign. And so I really, when I am in the desert, I can't explain it any other way than it feels like I'm on fire, that I need to just be like balanced by water.
For me, the lake house represents like this place to create family memories. You know me, I'm the sentimental one, right? Mm-hmm. So we only been up here like 3 days, but this has been everything that I hoped it would be already. We've had giant family/friend cookouts. We've been up in Door County hanging out and having like small town Americana with families, you know what I mean? We've been out on the boat twice, 2 out of 3 days already. That's pretty damn good. Wake surfing, all the things. And this is what I wanted it for. I wanted to create as many memories as possible every single summer so that nieces, nephews, my brother and Jackie, that everybody remembered coming up to the lake.
Well, we grew up like that. You and I both had friends who would either go rent a cabin or have a cabin on the lake. And those are truly my core memories.
Yep.
Of course, I have some with my family, but the ones that like, those ones where you're like summer bliss was always when I would get to go up and stay a week with my friends whose parents would rent a cabin and had a boat. And we would go tubing and wakeboarding and just have fires out by the lake. It was everything.
Tell you what, one more thing this place represents. I'm bringing half of my elite mastermind here in a couple of weeks. How wild is that? Like, this place is so special to me. I wanted the members who renew. So, a little background story. Every year in the elite mastermind, anyone who renews for the next year, we do an extra bonus trip that's very casual. It's just us getting together. You know, usually 15 out of the 30 people renew, right? So it's a very small, intimate group. They already knew each other from the year before. Well, last year we did Park City. This year we said, let's bring them up to the lake house here. So I cannot freaking wait for that. By the way, you guys, if you want to get your application in line for the Elite Mastermind, you have to be making more than $500,000 a year for the year that you're applying in. So, for example, we're not opening this up again until 2024, but get your applications in now because they're first come, first serve in terms of the order we go through them in to see if you get an interview or not. So there's a big advantage to getting it in early. Anyhow, if you want to check that out, you can go to chrisharder.me/mastermind, get your app in, and then we'll contact you on it. Again, go to chrisharder.me/mastermind. Literally game changer of entrepreneurs every single year. Well, on the way up here, we have another tradition. We drive up, and we took 4 days to drive up. We drove up with some friends, separate cars, but chased each other on the way up and stayed in Airbnbs together, which was so much fun. And Lori and I, whenever we drive, first of all, we are total road trippers. Like, I love it to the max, and I think she loves it a lot.
I love it.
You do? Okay, good.
I like learning on the road.
See, that's why. Like, you got to find your way on the road. And so we always listen to podcasts or books, and we just devour them. And we went down a rabbit hole devouring a bunch of Skinny Confidential podcasts one day. We thought we'd share a takeaway from each of the episodes because we had these aha moments. Like, oh my God, this is going to shift. Oh my God, we're going to start doing this. So just like you're listening to a podcast right now, and the fact that you tune into us every week, which means the world, we tune into other people. And it gives us these moments of, holy crap, I need to start doing blank, or holy crap, I never realized this. So, Lori, what's the first podcast you remember on this trip, and what did you take away from it?
So the first one we listened to was an interview with Rob Dyrdek, who, if you guys listen to this podcast, you know that we are obsessed with him and the way that he thinks and the way that he sets up his life. So one of the biggest things that I always get from Rob is the fact that he puts meditation at the forefront of his life and really accredits pretty much everything. Obviously, he's a genius business person, but he accredits big shifts in his life to be able to create a lot of abundance to meditation.
Specifically, when he got his Sonodome in 2018, he said from that moment on, he gives 90+% of his abundance and everything else credit to that creating a daily practice.
And he listens to, I think it's a manifestation recording that you can do in the Sonodome, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's like this crazy meditation egg that uses lights and sounds, and you go in and you close it, and it's like you have this little, time to yourself, the space pod. But you don't need that to create what he's creating at all, because you and I used to be in a good habit of this, but it was such a good reminder that, like, wow, when we were in this, we really were on this rocket ship trajectory of building a lot of abundance at the time that we were doing it really regularly. So for me, this was a reminder of, yes, it takes all of the physical action that you need to go do out in the world. That's very, very important to be doing those things. But you also have to be really, I'm going to view it as like calibrating. I think one of the things that Lauren Bostic said that was in there that just rocked my world, which I absolutely loved, is she said, for all of the tactical people, like, view meditation as a daily strategy session with yourself.
That rocked my world when she said that.
I loved it. I was like, that's all it is. It's a meeting with yourself to say, how do I want my life to go? What do I want this to look like? And I was like, oh my God, sometimes you just hear these things that make it so practical that you go, how could I not be having a daily strategy session with myself?
I mean, that changed that went from it being this woo-woo whatever thing where does it work? Does it not? Like, it works. And I know it works. But I mean, just saying in general, people question it too. All of a sudden, a real practical thing of, wait, this is just a daily strategy session with yourself. So for me, I need to be guided in a guided meditation. Otherwise, my mind just goes wherever, right? So I'm taking the idea of the Sonodome, where you get a guided meditation, and this idea that she said of it's a strategy session with yourself. And I'm going to script out what I want my life to look like in 5 years. Literally, I'm going to script it out as if it's already happened. Then I'm going to read it and record it, no different than we are in a podcast right now. So it's my voice speaking as though it's already happened. And then I'm going to get one of my video editor friends to go out and get B-roll and make a movie of this thing. And I'm going to put it in my ears. I'm going to put it on my screen. And I'm going to watch this movie of my life as if it's already happened, spoken by me in my voice, looking back on it as if it's already happened. And I'm going to watch this thing every single freaking morning and see what happens.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone, and I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe, because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them, because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys, go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to like make you way smarter and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out.
Let's make sure if there's no actors in it, maybe we're really in it with our faces, because we don't want to like attract those actual actors into our life.
No, really, I'm going to get B-roll of you and me, and that'll be in it. But then we'll also just get B-roll of other things or people or whatever it might be in whatever meditation I script out, right? Whatever I script out for 5 years.
Green screen us on a yacht. I'm
telling you, I've got the vision. Anyhow, I'm going to build this. I'm going to do it. It's going to be so cool. And I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. Second one that we listened to was Craig's.
Yes.
Craig's from LA. It's a restaurant owner.
Craig is the founder of Craig's in LA, in Beverly Hills, right there on Beverly. And it is just one of the best restaurants. Every single time I'm back in LA, that's where my friends and I go. We go to Craig's. And almost any single night that you're in there, you're going to be looking to your left and seeing A-listers, looking to your right and seeing A-listers. But everybody leaves them alone. And it's almost like, even though it's in LA, this super vibey, cozy New York steakhouse, right? Like it was there from the 40s, the way he's built it out.
So I've only been there once, and he came up and sat with us, and which is what he's known for.
Yep.
But I was like, this is crazy. Okay, so I'm obviously not a celebrity. And there's like, when I say A-list, I mean like picture the A-list of A-list in this restaurant. Yet he still comes and takes time to go and sit with pretty much everybody eventually, right? And he sat and talked, and it's like nobody else was in the restaurant except for us. And I just felt like there was so much attention to detail. I was like, this person is elite at what they do.
Yep.
This is incredible.
Yep. And one of the things I've learned from him is not only has he created the team around him so he can go be present with every single table, but at the same time, his story. He was a server at Dantana's, which is another super iconic Hollywood restaurant right next to the Troubadour. And so when Elton John or Madonna or anybody was done playing at the Troubadour, when they were on their come up, they would go next door in the middle of the night at bar time, basically, and go to Tana's. And he was a server there. And he did such a good job learning from the ground floor up how to be great at his craft, and then how to be the maitre d', and then how to run the restaurant, that when it came time for him to say, hey, I want to open my own, he had all of this trust because he walked the walk in all the positions, and they saw him do it, and he worked it with them and served them. He had already built the trust to get investors. And he was able to go from a ground floor server to owning one of the most popular restaurants in Beverly Hills, all on his own accord of showing up and showing up big every single day. And then other people were willing to show up for him.
So my biggest takeaway from that podcast was he talked about how, you know, when you are a true expert, a true professional, there will be so much going on in the background that you don't know about, that you have no idea. He said there'll be so many fires burning that you, in the front of the restaurant, the main concern is what is their customer experience? How do they feel? What's going on? You can't lose attention to detail, even though there might be things that are happening in the back of the kitchen. He said, you know, shipments don't come in, people don't show up. It might feel like everything is falling apart. Maybe there's a mini kitchen fire. Like, who knows what is literally going on back there? But you just keep your cool in the front of the house. And I thought that this is so interesting because I think that if you can apply this to any, or if you can think of this in another way, I thought of this in terms of sometimes we look at those experts and professionals in our field and we say, oh, everything must be going right for them. They probably don't have the same problems I have. Why do I have this? Why am I plagued by this? Why did my launch not go well? Why did my product not go well? The thing is, that is happening to them as well. They are just choosing to show up as a professional and not show all of those parts. Now, this is interesting because we're in a time where it's like, yeah, but what about being authentic? Okay, you can totally be authentic, but still make sure that you are showing up, making sure you're putting your best foot forward all of the time and making sure that your customers and the people who are following you, that you're showing up professionally. I think of this for the people that we love and that we want to emulate. I'm just going to bring him up again because we are just obsessed with the way he lives life. And that's Brendan Burchard. We know that so much stuff goes on behind the background, but to us, what he's showing is a consistent picture for us to follow, a consistent inspiration for us to follow and to be out in the world.
Yep. I think two things came to mind when you said that. Be aspirational and over deliver on customer service. Do those two things no matter what's burning down in the background. And people will want to follow you and do business with you and learn from you or buy your product in droves.
Yep.
I hope you guys liked our takeaways. We try our best to always just pass on like what we're learning. I think when I look up to other individuals or learn from other individuals, when I find out where they're at in their life and some of the cool things that aha moments that they're doing, I find that valuable. So hopefully you guys like this when we share these types of things. And thanks for listening. We always love and appreciate you guys.
We will see you next week.
Want to know a huge secret to my success? Okay, not only my success, but just about every single person that I have interviewed on this podcast who is successful has this in common. You guys, they love to journal. They capture their life lessons and what they're grateful for. But a lot of people don't keep this up consistently, and most people do know that the research shows that journaling deepens your gratitude and increases self-awareness. But did you also know that journaling decreases stress and helps you achieve your goals faster? In fact, journaling is a huge differentiator between average performers at work and high-performing people. It leads to longer-term clarity, confidence, and success. So why don't more people journal? Why didn't I journal consistently? Honestly, they don't like staring at a blank page. It's hard to carry a book around with you or a notepad, and they just don't even know what to write about, or they just forget. That's why I know that you're going to love Growth Day. It's the world's #1 system for self-improvement, and it's like all-in-one personal development in an app. And it has an awesome digital journal, and people love it. Growth Day's digital journal has hundreds of research-backed writing prompts for self-reflection, positive mindset, confidence building, and success. I use them all the time, and it makes me think in ways that I typically don't, and it makes me ask myself better questions, which we all know gets better results in our life. It even has prompts that help you develop a daily, weekly, or monthly habit of reflecting on your life and identifying areas to grow. So it's a perfect time of year to start journaling, you guys. When you sign up at Growth Day, you also get systems for habit tracking, goal setting, and scoring, and improving every area of your life. Best of all, I get to teach there too, you guys. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to see you. I teach live in Growth Day every single month with a new topic just for you. So join me there. Start your free trial at growthday.com/Lori.
Hey, I know if you're listening to this podcast that you have big dreams and big goals. And one of the things that can really stop you is struggling with your marketing. Trust me, I have been there. Are you using 10 different systems just to build your online business? Then I want you to try Kajabi. Kajabi helps you build your web pages, set up funnels, and sell your courses, content, coaching, or communities. You've been hearing me talk a lot about funnels on this podcast and the importance of your email list. You can get a free trial at kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com. I've talked about Kajabi before, but here's something that's super cool and new. They just rolled out an AI assistant for creating your online course curriculum. And this means you just type in a topic that you want to create on a course or webinar, and bam, it just generates a sample outline for you. It takes a ton of the hard work away. Of course, you're going to customize it to be your own, but this really helps you get over the struggle of how in the world to start, which is where most people stop. If you're like me, starting is always the hardest part, and that's what makes Kajabi so popular. They've made it easier for creators to build web pages, build courses, build coaching programs, build membership sites, build checkout pages, and build email funnels. So if you're struggling with any of those, you got to go check it out. Go to Kajabi.com. Kajabi was really the first all-in-one system and is trusted by over 100,000 creators. I think that's good enough for me. Also has influencers and marketers who use this. And now their smart AI platform makes it easy to take what you know and turn it into an online course and business. Go start building with a free trial at Kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com.